Gauteng has repeatedly raised questions about the suppression of democratic debate in the Gauteng legislature, which in the experience of our caucus was preceded by the legislature's initial refusal to let us participate in the proceedings of the legislature addressed in our EFF work group. Specifically, the Speaker, Ntombi Mhete, has taken undemocratic decisions in the legislature post our inauguration and has continued to suppress inputs from the EFF after that, by refusing to allow our motions to be tabled on the program of the legislature for debate. This continued even in the programming committee with the cooperation of employees of the legislature who are presumably deployed by the Eff Caucus and have clearly committed themselves to cooperate unprofessionally with the Speaker by suppressing the tabling of EFF motions for debate. The proceedings unit and the Speaker have also suppressed EFF questions meant to be tabled at House sittings when the Premier and the MECs are meant to answer questions from members. Needless to say, these questions are critical to forcing the ANC executives leading government in the province to account to the people and to our constituencies on matters of governance, the quality and extent of service delivery, and financial management of all state departments. We have questions that members of the Eff Caucus have asked and sent to the proceedings unit, and they were mishandled and deliberately corrupted, all in the name of preventing EFF from engaging fully in plenary during House sittings on matters affecting our constituencies. Flimsy excuses are offered by proceedings when we inquire about the reasons for our questions not being taken. On e-tolls, the EFF nationally has resolutely rejected the recent e-tolls announcement, asserting once more that our people must not pay for usage of public roads and that no one must profit from public roads because it is clear infringement of the right to freedom of movement. As this new e-toll dispensation of Buffalo Man, the Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa, directly impacts all of us as Gauteng residents negatively, we want all motorists in Gauteng to continue with the civil disobedience campaign of not registering for the e-tag and not paying any e-toll bills. These bills are unjust and illegal, therefore we cannot be expected to comply with anything illegal and unjust. If the state insists on entertaining the ANC government's other fantasies of abusing the vehicle registration fee system as a tool to force us to pay the unjust e-toll bills, we will then simply not renew any motor vehicle licenses, exactly the same way we encourage citizens not to pay their TV licenses. We repeat, we will not pay for the e-toll. We keep hearing ramblings about the DA supporting a payment model that involves increasing the fuel levy to cover the expense of the e-tolls project. That too we reject outright. We are against any form of payment by citizens. No direct or indirect payment for e-tolls will be tolerated. As stated in the EFF founding manifesto, and as it is our core belief and policy position, EFF continues to emphasize the need for the South African government to establish a state construction company that would employ many people permanently and give them benefits to build and maintain all infrastructure in the province. We further note the provincial government spokesperson's comments on Power FM radio yesterday that consultation with the people does not necessarily mean that the government must do as the people want. To him, we wish to say, the government is the people, not the ANC's corrupt, factional and sectarian leadership that has presided over corruption in the province since 1994. After all, we all know that Corruption Watch in April 2014 declared the Gauteng provincial government as the most corrupt in the country. On an unaccountable government of the ANC, as if vote rigging, or rather rigging the elections last year, was not enough for the ANC. Now that they are in government again for another term, corruption and maladministration continue to the extent that it has now found roots here at the legislature. That Ntombi Mhete is the Speaker here and that the legislature is now marred by claims of rampant nepotism, corruption, fruitless and wasteful expenditure, and not following due process during employment and promotion of staff is no major surprise. This is the same ANC employee who is infamously known for laziness and incompetence at the Ekurhuleni municipality when she was the Speaker of the Council and Mayor. Incompetence is the bedrock of corruption. Ntombi Mhete was MEC for Human Settlements in the 2013-14 financial year when 8 billion rand was paid to suppliers without proper documentation and processes being followed. To this day, this issue has never been addressed, despite EFF raising it in the House recently. The Auditor General made recommendations for corrective steps to be taken, but we doubt that this advice will be taken. The caucus of the EFF has received a damning letter posted anonymously to the caucus detailing a string of allegations of theft of GPL cell phones, illegal leasing of the City Hall building, and pocketing the proceeds of the venue fees and equipment hire, amongst other claims. The Human Resources Department has been accused of selling jobs for 5,000 rand. Several people employed by the GPL have been fingered in these serious allegations. Senior management employment contracts are renewed regardless of their performance quality. In the supply chain department, it is said that a total of few service providers frequently receive contracts for work to be done and are paid within 2 weeks of provision of services because they pay kickbacks, whilst others are frustrated and paid even 6 months after the service has been delivered. The legislature is controlled and run by the ANC, as they are deployees both politically and administratively. So, if what we have stated above is happening in the GPL, what is the true state of governance in the 10 departments that the ANC is presiding over? Over the last few months, the leader of government business, Barbara Creasy, MEC for Finance, soon to be known as MEC of E-Governance, has dragged her feet and outright frustrated a request from the ANC member, from the EFF member serving in the Finance Committee to access the Gauteng Broadband Network Infrastructure Rollout Service Provider contract, whose tenders were issued in February 2014. The Office of the MEC has repeatedly ignored the request from the EFF since last year and indicated that they are willing to meet us in court over this request if necessary. This is blatant and arrogant flouting of the Access of Information Act. In conclusion, we've raised the fact of the dishonesty of the ANC government before. We know that they will not rest until they've completely impoverished the majority of blacks in this province. As it is, general unemployment in Gauteng stands at 29%, and youth general unemployment is hovering between 32 and 36%. This means at least about 4.5 million young people are languishing in poverty and despair. Not only are they presiding over poverty, unemployment, and inequality, but in Tshwane, the mayor is hell-bent on selling off land that belongs to the people as a whole. It is not a surprise to us that after the Gauteng government declared this year as the year of the Freedom Charter, they are now selling land, beating up and shooting protesters all over the province, namely in Ekurhuleni, West Rand, Sedibeng, and Tshwane. Their true character is made up of lies and misleading statements of radical this and radical that. If their intention is to truly change society radically, they should by now have banned labor brokerage, which is exploiting workers, even here at the legislature, in hospitals, clinics, the provincial government, and all over municipalities, as well as the parastatals in the province. Lastly, we are aware that the Speaker has announced that an investigation will be conducted following the allegations of corruption, but we have no confidence that this investigation will yield any positive or produce any objective outcome, because the people presiding over this legislature clearly have no sense of accountability, nor any respect for governance. Can I give you a copy of the letter that was sent to us anonymously?
Okay. Thanks.